Welcome to Edinburgh, Scotland, where history meets the supernatural. A city where the past refuses to stay buried and where every cobblestone whispers tales of horror. From haunted castles to underground vaults, this ancient capital is a labyrinth of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Join us as we explore the dark side of Edinburgh, the World Horror City, where the line between the living and the dead is frighteningly thin. Are you ready to face the ghosts of Scotland's past? This is the World Horror City, Edinburgh, Scotland. The World Horror City, Edinburgh, Scotland. Edinburgh, Scotland's capital, is a city that resonates with history, culture, and an undeniable sense of the macabre. Its ancient streets, towering castles, and shadowy alleys have borne witness to centuries of bloodshed, tragedy, and mystery. The city's dark past, full of grim stories and haunted locations, has earned it the title of one of the most haunted cities in the world. For those with a taste for the supernatural and an appetite for the eerie, Edinburgh is not just a travel destination, it's a journey into the very heart of horror. The city's origins trace back to the Bronze Age, but it truly came into prominence during the Middle Ages when it became the capital of Scotland. As the city grew, so did its reputation for violence, disease, and death. The medieval period in Edinburgh was particularly brutal, with public executions, witch trials, and outbreaks of the plague that left a deep scar on the city's collective memory. One of the most infamous periods in Edinburgh's history was the 16th and 17th centuries, during which the city became a focal point for witch hunts. Women accused of witchcraft were tortured and executed, often on the flimsiest of evidence. The Grass Market, a historic area of the city, was one of the main sites for these public executions. The ghosts of those wrongfully accused are said to still haunt the area, their cries for justice echoing through the ages. A dark underworld beneath the bustling streets of modern Edinburgh lies a network of underground vaults that are among the most haunted locations in the city. The Edinburgh Vaults, also known as the South Bridge Vaults, were built in the late 18th century as storage spaces for merchants. However, as the city expanded, the vaults fell into disuse and became a refuge for the city's poorest residents. It wasn't long before the dark and damp conditions led to the vaults being associated with crime, disease, and death. The vaults were rediscovered in the 1980s, and since then, they have become a popular site for ghost tours. Visitors to the vaults often report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, hearing unexplained noises, and even seeing apparitions. One of the most famous spirits said to haunt the vaults is that of a young boy named Jack, who is often seen or felt tugging on the clothes of visitors. The vaults are also linked to the infamous Burke and Hare, two of Edinburgh's most notorious criminals. In the early 19th century, William Burke and William Hare embarked on a gruesome career as body snatchers, murdering at least 16 people and selling their bodies to medical schools for dissection. The dark deeds of Burke and Hare have left a lasting stain on the city's history, and some say their spirits still linger in the shadows of Edinburgh's underground. The haunted Edinburgh Castle, perched high on an extinct volcanic rock, dominates the city's skyline and has been a symbol of Scottish power for centuries. However, it is not just its imposing presence that makes Edinburgh Castle famous, it is also considered one of the most haunted places in the city. The castle has been the site of numerous battles, sieges, and executions, and its walls have witnessed untold horrors. One of the most famous ghosts said to haunt the castle is that of the Lone Piper. According to legend, a piper was sent into the castle's underground tunnels to explore them, playing his bagpipes as he went so that his progress could be tracked from above. However, the music suddenly stopped, and the piper was never seen again. To this day, the eerie sound of bagpipes is said to echo through the castle, especially at night. Another famous ghost associated with Edinburgh Castle is the headless drummer boy, who is said to appear when the castle is about to be attacked. The sight of the ghostly drummer, his headless form marching through the castle grounds, is said to be a harbinger of doom. The castle is also home to several other spirits, including the ghost of a dog that is said to haunt the dog cemetery, and the specter of a prisoner who was thrown from the castle walls during a failed escape attempt. Mary King's Close, a street frozen in time. Mary King's Close is one of Edinburgh's most famous haunted locations. This underground street, which was once a bustling part of the city, was sealed off during an outbreak of the plague in the 17th century. The residents of the close were left to die, and their homes were bricked up, leaving behind a time capsule of life and death in medieval Edinburgh. Visitors to Mary King's Close often report feeling an oppressive atmosphere and experiencing strange occurrences. One of the most famous stories associated with the close is that of Annie, a young girl who is said to have died of the plague. Her spirit is said to still wander the close, searching for her lost doll. Many visitors have reported feeling a cold hand tugging at their clothes or hearing the sound of a child crying. The close has become a pilgrimage site for those interested in the paranormal, with many leaving toys and trinkets for the spirit of Annie. The close also has a darker history, with stories of murders, suicides, and other tragic events. The combination of these tales with the claustrophobic atmosphere of the underground street makes Mary King's Close one of the most terrifying places in Edinburgh. The Greyfriars Kirkyard and the Mackenzie Poltergeist. Greyfriars Kirkyard is one of Edinburgh's most famous cemeteries and is reputed to be one of the most haunted places in the world. The cemetery is the final resting place of many notable figures, including the infamous George Mackenzie, known as Bluety Mackenzie. Mackenzie was a ruthless judge during the Covenanters' Rebellion in the 17th century and was responsible for the deaths of many Scottish Presbyterians. After his death, Mackenzie was buried in a mausoleum in Greyfriars Kirkyard, but his spirit is said to have found no rest. In the late 20th century, a homeless man seeking shelter in Mackenzie's mausoleum accidentally disturbed the tomb, leading to a series of strange and violent events. Since then, the Mackenzie Poltergeist has become one of the most well-documented paranormal phenomena in the city. Visitors to the kirkyard often report being scratched, pushed, or feeling an overwhelming sense of fear when near the mausoleum. Greyfriars Kirkyard is also famous for the story of Greyfriars Bobby, a small dog who faithfully guarded his owner's grave for 14 years. While Bobby's tale is heartwarming, the cemetery's atmosphere is anything but, with many visitors reporting sightings of ghostly figures and unexplained lights. The Surgeons' Hall Museums and the Anatomical Horrors. Edinburgh has a long history as a center of medical learning, but this history is not without its dark side. The Surgeons' Hall Museums, which are part of the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh, house a collection of medical artifacts that tell the story of the city's sometimes gruesome past. The museum's collection includes items related to Burke and Hare's body-snatching activities, as well as anatomical specimens and surgical instruments from centuries past. The atmosphere in the museum is undeniably eerie, with many visitors reporting a sense of unease or even nausea as they walk through the exhibits. The Surgeons' Hall Museums are a reminder of the thin line between life and death, and the sometimes macabre methods used by early medical practitioners to understand the human body. The paranormal tours and events. Edinburgh has fully embraced its reputation as a horror city, offering a wide range of tours and events for those interested in its dark past. Ghost tours are among the most popular activities for visitors, with guides leading groups through the city's most haunted locations, sharing stories of murder, mystery, and the supernatural. The annual Edinburgh Horror Festival, held in October, celebrates all things spooky, with performances, film screenings, and events dedicated to the macabre. The festival attracts horror enthusiasts from around the world and is a testament to the city's enduring fascination with the dark side of life. Conclusion: a city of shadows and specters, Edinburgh's reputation as one of the world's top horror cities is well-deserved. The city's dark history, combined with its wealth of haunted locations and eerie tales, makes it a must-visit destination for those with a love of the supernatural. From the ghostly vaults beneath the streets to the haunted halls of Edinburgh Castle, the city offers a glimpse into a world where the past is never truly gone, and where the spirits of the dead still walk among the living. For those brave enough to explore, Edinburgh offers an unforgettable experience, a journey into the heart of darkness that will leave you questioning what is real and what is merely the product of your imagination. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, one thing is certain: Edinburgh is a city that will stay with you long after you have left its shadowy streets. That was all for today's video. You can share with us your views in the comments section. And if you are new to the channel, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos we upload. Thank you for watching the video. Best of luck and goodbye.